program, road reconstruction, beautification. The banking business moved away to more of a CSR business governance. So after running the country. So when you find this scenario, what you needed to do was to identify that there was, yes, management incompetence. Or capability was not there. Now CBN ought to have dealt with that. And so the action saying he sacked them and being a case of this, I think we've moved up the real facts. The facts are simple, they're clear. This man could not manage the huge volume of things in there. And again, there is a total system risk failure. And who is it supposed to determine risk failure? CBN. CBN. It was an episode.
If you look at the last 100 days of Lamido's office vis-a-vis where Soludo was coming from, would we say that at the CBN itself, there was risk management, supervisory system in place?
It was a failure. It was a failure. There's no better way to put it. I mean, Financial Times put it perhaps much more assertively when he said that when Nigeria was growing all its businesses, the most important aspect of its business to really grow was its regulatory environment. I mean, that was very clear. And so if you want to say what did Lamido do when he came in, I think Lamido at least admitted as much. He moved away from the self-denial game that was being played by the central bank under Soludo then, and then came up openly and said, look, we've got a problem. The question we have on this side of the house is, what is the definition of the problem?
What Lamido talked about the disclosure of this time around, was it disclosure as far as the banking system, or disclosure as far as the financial system, or disclosure as far as the financial regulatory market authorities are concerned?
Wait a minute, you disclose based on the rules available to you at the time you're playing the game. What new rules the CBN bring out that the banks did not meet in terms of disclosure? That was not. The first thing is, the regulatory body defines the operating environment. Look at what happened in 2008. I believe it was Udora from SEC that came out and said that there was a problem. CBN came up with a two-page editorial to deny that there was no marginal, especially, and even if there was, it was less than 380 million in the whole market. CBN published and denied. Whereas it was well known by everyone. I believe it was a Russell Sakibola as well, through his CIBM, who actually asked that people that SEC did not know what they were doing. Now, if you look about this,
is in hiding in the UK?
But it happens to be, he was speaking as the president of CIBA. And nobody came out to say, yes, it's true. I mean, that was a blatant lack of integrity. We all knew everyone put money there. The stockbrokers knew, the market knew. And if the president of CIBA says no, and if the central bank says no, who else can talk?
So we'll go home and sleep.
Now, there was a blatant lack of integrity at that level. Actually confronted a problem so profound that the whole world was still learning how to deal with it. And we just went straight out and denied.
You talk about in paragraph 6 of this page 7 of the Bull in the China Show report, one of the things that were foretold in the NCL report was the need to employ vigor in addressing the simplistic and routine unaccountability prevalent in our policy making. Flesh that out.
It's a matter of flip-flop. Flip-flopping is where people react, give directives that are quasi-policy decisions, and they're not necessarily well thought out. You take a policy decision based on a long-term position. If analysts can sit down and articulate and have a long-term view of the market and take a good seat, my first problem is this: what was the risk identified by CBN in the decision which Lamido took? Because the risk was well captured here when we did unintended consequences. The first major casualty we knew was going to happen was one that would affect the LCs for major projects by government, for major projects by individual, for economic activity. In a period where there's contraction, where there's a major problem, credit becomes a major tool for you to help the economy get out of it. Now, if all the decisions were therefore based to start with credit, and what was the thinking? I think first capital, you still have to give credit. Now, credit to whom?
You say 420 billion injected into the pipeline, you still have to give credit.
But guess what? They haven't been able to even use as much as 100. Why? Because who wants to take what activity? Now they're asking companies to actually put cash down, and take out LCs. There's a much more fundamental problem about it all. If Lamido took that decision, I mean, let's get something straight. The fact that the decision was going to be taken was not in doubt. Yes, there was going to be a decision. The fact that people were going to be dealt with was not in doubt. Yes, it was going to be. The fact that certain things will never be the same. Yes. But in what sequence? In what order? With what approach? It is not about protecting the civilians that we're saying. It is about what are the unintended consequences of your action. Now, when you go about, a bank is made up of customers. When you publish list of debtors, and you find out that he's either, I'll give you an example, Nadina, he had paid back all his money, he had received letters, the securities had been returned to him, yet he was owing about 5 billion. It is possible that somebody in that bank was doing something with that individual customer's account. Now, you are exposing so many things, and then you're not giving confidence for anybody to engage those banks. So the corresponding banks become the one who first must have held it. Who can you trust in this bank? Now, that is a huge problem on its own, because it will take you so many times to reverse that. Secondly, you need to deal with one thing, that the loan sector in Nigeria has always had a major problem. If you don't give money to them, you're going to have a problem. Or, which we know has been a major issue, once the state starts receiving less allocation, they never go to the banks for borrowings or the bond market. Now, if the strategy is to push them towards the bond market and not to go to banks for borrowings, fine, but what is it still about bond market? People still borrow money. Now, if they can't give out the money, the states are problems. The state can't meet those needs, they have a multiplier and ripple effect on the whole economy as a whole. That was why we said there are chances that CBN, as usual, has an institutional capacity for bungling up issues. We might as well bungle this thing up again. We said the market should not look forward to recovery in 2000, because 2009 will be the year in which we used to bring out our dirty linen and throw brickbats at each other. And maybe some second quarter in 2010, some sense will prevail. Now, where we have a major concern is what are the unintended consequences which a risk manager like Lamido must have envisaged, and what were those things he was going to deal with it. You see, when they came out in September 3, and they said there were allegations to malign the CBN, I mean, that for me was base, because they also made some errors. Their definition of a bailout as to whether it was equity or it wasn't, or was not. We were clear when we said they should go out and give this money to these banks at an interest rate.
Not as a capital injection.
Oh, but as an interest rate. Now, these banks will then have to reward. If they now find that it is not possible, like in the cases where we say these people were net takers in the market, then you will be quite right to follow the second one. We say that bring in capital into these banks, because then the capital had already been eroded. But by not disclosing how much of what the capital has been eroded, we need to remove compliance.
So what we're saying is that as far as the 14th August pronouncements were concerned, there was so much talk about the interbank, the expanded discount window, and we were starting about the figures as far as the shareholders' funds, what the quality of assets and everything.
Exactly. So when you
what did it do? Full disclosure.
Because if you look at the 420, if you look at Ocean Bank, for example, if you brought 100 billion, and the share price, you probably have about 20 billion outstanding shares. With the 22 billion outstanding shares in there, it's basically a rip-off with shareholders. That's exactly what it is. So if you say, well, we're giving you 100 billion, you're going to pay back in 6 months' time, this is what we're going to do. With regards to your loans, which we provisioned for, can we take the shares of these individuals to net it off? Then we will reduce the share, that's what you also let them pay for their crime by losing all the money there.
Really? It's some of share construction at the back.
Exactly.
Thank you. Let's pause a bit, catch our breath a little bit. We'll return to you after the break. We've got about 10 minutes left of the program. Now we have from Pusha Nigeria CEO and Alan is looking at the first 100 days of Lamido's office, the Upheavals that will face. Then we'll look at the challenges ahead. Lamido will be at the stock exchange on Wednesday in 48 hours from now. You want to be there, get a ticket, get an invite, sit at the ringside, and you could be part of history for the first time in 15 years.